So basically, we're gonna open up the meeting at 5:30. We're gonna go over the agenda review, and I have one thing to add. Before I do that, if you don't mind, I'm the chair of the Swanton. So everybody knows who's in the room.
Sandy Steele's Kilburn.
I'm the other Kilburn.
Ryan Savage, Town Administrator.
Bill Sheets, Swanton Village Manager.
Gil Spear, Swanton Village President.
Nicole Draper, Swanton Recreation, Town of Swanton Select Board.
Mildred Hall.
Community.
Alicia Coda, guest speaker for the Creative Arts.
Abby Goddard, Library Director.
Allie Boring, Swanton Arts Council.
Susie Messier Kelleher, Community.
Sarah, Swanton Public Library Board Member and Swanton Arts Council.
Michelle Dozatel, Swanton Bridge Neighbors People's Trust Company.
Molly Lambert,
Hank Lambert.
So back to the agenda review. I just need to add committee to the committee and stakeholders, the Abenaki Nation of Missisquoi and Circle of Courage. I forgot to add them, but they are represented here this evening. So review of our minutes from our September 7th meeting. And our committee members are like sitting in the audience, so
I move that the minutes be accepted as presented.
I'll second it.
yeah, Molly Lambert and Joel Clark. All opposed say aye.
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 Opposed? Any discussion? Motion carried. All right. Do we have any public comment from anybody that's not on the agenda this evening? Molly?
I'm not on the agenda, but I just wanted to thank Bill Sheets and the village team for, and could be the towns involved too, but I know that Bill and his team have just been working so hard to inform the community about the police expansion project, the need for space, the work that it takes to set up so many open houses for 3 and 4 people at a time, most of the time, is just amazing and so well done. And good article in the Messenger last night. It's a lot of work.
Thank you. Not a lot of positive praise, I'll take it these days, so.
So
Thank you, Molly.
I would just like to add, if you haven't done it yet, please do it, because you'll be amazed at what the conditions are. And you know, I've been going in that building most of my life, but it was really an eye-opener. So I underline what Molly said. Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? I know that we'll kind of touch base on more about the village and the town and other stakeholders on our agenda. All right. So financial report update from Joel.
Okay, here's a copy for you. And just to save paper and ink, I only made 3. You can pass them around if anybody really wants to look at the fine details, but this report is as of 31 December. I don't get the January statement for a couple more days, but the bottom line is I didn't do any processing of paperwork in January, so this is pretty much where we're at. So the unrestricted balance is $11,482.96. The activity since last report you can ignore the minus sign. It's $70, had to pay to the Secretary of State. Every so often we have to update our position with the state, cost us $70. And then we did receive $1,500 from the Swanton Town, which we get annually. Restricted, we have a balance of $32,719.21. Of that, $3,800 is committed to the LVRT project. Activity since last report is we had a balance of $57.62 left in grant write-in, and I put that into the substance misuse category. So balance by category, we still have it's really $38,8895 in the bikes and signs, but again, $3,800 of that is committed to the LVRT. That'll get expended sometime later in 2024. Capacity building, $1,477.25. Substance misuse, $1,625.61. Beautification has $6,912.40. And to add to that, they have the $18,000 that is in the CD, so it's really $24,912.40. Marble Mill, there's a balance of $815. There's been talk about looking at some improvements to Marble Mill and using some of that money toward those improvements, probably something expended in the springtime frame. The mural, I left it on this time, it's gonna drop out, that is zeroed out. We had a $3,000 that we were the financial agent for, we've expended that $3,000, so that's zeroed out. And the bottom, I've already mentioned, is the $18,000 CD. We'll probably draw down from that, a couple thousand each year, right, Hank?
That's correct.
So when we go to renew this, we'll probably drop a couple thousand off it if that's the direction I get from the beautification committee. Any questions? Anything I can answer here? Yes, Molly?
I wondered if that $815, I thought at our November meeting, Chris Sweeney brought up the pickleball equipment, and she was gonna talk to Bill, I think
She was supposed to come back and give us some quotes and prices on some updates that she wanted, but I think she's away. So
Okay.
once she returns, I think she'll give us that information.
Yes, she had some research to do,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
that's what we were looking at, and between the village and what we could put money toward some improvements to the pickleball court area was what we talked about,
Okay,
absolutely.
I just,
Did she speak with you, Bill?
Yeah,
Okay,
no, we're
good.
on the same page,
All
and
right,
we're not gonna do
super.
anything without Nicole's partnership also, so
Yeah,
we're
okay.
all in on that.
Super, thanks. All right.
Do we want a motion to accept the report?
I make a motion to accept the financial update.
Well, second.
Second by Nick. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any more discussion? All right, motion carried. All right, so moving on. So this evening, we have a presenter with us this evening, Felicia Coda. She's a board-certified art therapist that does art therapy in our community. So because we had our focus was for 2024 was on social, emotional, and economic health, I thought it was a great opportunity to bring Felicia in to kind of tell us a little bit about what she does for our community, and anything she has happening, and just give us a good idea of what she can offer to our community and how we as a community can support her also. And I do have a few handouts of some upcoming projects and just a little bit of information about her also, if you would like some of that. Pass those around. So Felicia, if you'd like to come up here, and I don't know if you want to stand or sit.
And a handout with QR codes
Oh.
for things as well.
Okay, same thing we have, just no QR codes, so if people want some QR codes, that would be great. So last month, in November, we had talked about, we had some data about youth, and so this month, we're just gonna bring in some art therapy, and hopefully in our next meeting, we can kind of tap into some other great resources we have in our community that relate to our focus for 2024. I think it's a great opportunity to bring community partners in, just to give us an idea of what's happening, what they're offering, and just give them a big shout out and all the great work they're doing. So you've
Okay.
got the floor.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. So I'm going to give a little background of how I became an art therapist in this community, and I'm going to bring us all the way back to like 1997. I was a middle schooler. I was attending Missisquoi Valley Union, and I completed like a career inventory through a VSAC program that I was in. And I came across art therapy, and I thought it was like such an interesting career option. I did research, and I decided then that's what I wanted to do. And it seemed interesting to like a 12-year-old, you know, and a lot of times kids will decide this is what I'm going to do, and they'll change their mind multiple times. But I stuck with it. I found a college in Vermont. By the time I graduated from high school, that college removed the program. So then I had to get a little bit more in depth of where else I could go. So I ended up at Seton Hill University. It's in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, and that's where I got my bachelor's degree in art therapy. Moved back home, started working at NCSS as a community support worker, and applied to master's programs. Terre Haute, Indiana has an art therapy program for masters, and that is where I received my degree. When I returned, I started working for NCSS again as a school-based clinician. And I've always really had this desire to work with kids, and there's always been a need. Kids really gravitate to using art, being expressive visually, and being able to communicate through art is a very, very powerful tool that you can offer kids. After working at NCSS for like 6 years, I opened my private practice, and I knew I always wanted to continue working with the community. I'm an Abenaki member of the community, and recently I've really been trying to reach out and touch Indigenous people in ways. There's a lot of layers of trauma, generational trauma, and issues within our community. So in addition to working with children, I've also started working with adults. November, I decided I really wanted to put more effort into the community. I started a nonprofit, the Creative Heart Incorporated, which is a little bit different than my LLC, which is Creative Heart Counseling. That was more toward counseling direct individual services. The incorporated, the nonprofit that I started, I'm really trying to branch out and do workshops, classes, groups, things that can impact more people at once than just individual therapy. Although I am still doing that, I'm contracted at some local schools. Recently we purchased the old Flowers by Debbie Jenny building, and we've done some renovations. I'm kind of in the building, but it's not officially finished. There's been a lot of repairs that needed to be done. It's an older building. But I'm very excited that I have things happening inside the building, just recently doing a workshop and a few classes. So that's a little bit about my journey. I have some great people on my board. Abby Gaudette is one of my board members. And we're figuring things out. Like, nonprofit is new to me. We're open to collaborating with people. If you have a copy of the handout, I have a list of past, present, and future collaborations and community supports that I've been working on and that are in the works. I've been working with Monarch Maple Pediatrics with creating and offering art therapy groups for teens and children. That has been ongoing since last year. I've been collaborating with Voices Against Violence to offer art classes to victims of domestic violence. I have been collaborating with the Abenaki community. I've been doing art classes with Circle of Courage. Recently, I've connected with Maquam Bay, and I have some classes, groups, and workshops that are going to be offered at the nonprofit building as well. I'm very excited about this workshop that I have started called Helping the Helpers. When the pandemic happened, I was kind of like on the outside looking in within schools, seeing the effects of anxiety, the impacts of COVID-19 and all of the changes that we had to go through. And I was directly supporting children and teens within schools, but I could see the teachers struggling. You can still see the teachers struggling. I'm still working in the schools, and people have not fully recovered from the impacts of COVID-19. And so the workshop that I created is offering help to the helpers, and discussing burnout and stress and using art as a creative outlet. Because that's what I do with kids, and I feel like the helpers deserve that as well.
And you're doing that at MVU with the students?
I'm doing art therapy with the students, but the workshop Helping the Helpers,
Right.
I'm offering to organizations at my nonprofit building as well, and I've been advertising people to participate in that. But that's directly to support
Right.
the helpers, the teachers, nurses, anybody who's been impacted with the effects of COVID-19 and the pandemic. More recently, I started advertising open art studios. I have some specific for children, some for adults, and last night I just advertised a mom's group. So if you're a mom and you're interested in connecting with other moms and chatting and having coffee, once a month we'll be doing an art open studio for moms in the local area. Yeah. Yeah. So, and I also have offered camps in the past during breaks and vacations. Last year I really tried to get that going, and it seemed to be popular, little choice art camps for kids. And I know that there's other organizations in the community that do that, but some have been removed and they will not be continuing. So I think the community's trying to figure out how to support families and children with what summer will look like. So, yeah.
Can you tell me us a little more about like what kind of art that you do with the like your groups?
Yeah. So when I'm contracted at schools, I'm provided referrals of kids who have specific needs. Maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's ADHD, trauma. Depending on what it is that we're focusing on, I really think of like a treatment plan that can benefit them. And within the treatment plan, there are specific goals that you have to focus on. And then the art connects to those goals. It's very specific to the materials that you can use for those goals, for a diagnosis or a treatment plan that they may have. When I do an open studio, I have like a handful of things out that people can choose, and I can direct people and I can support people, but also you have the ability to come in and choose the things that you need. I like to offer people a little bit of background of how concrete or rigid materials make you think. It's more cognitive in your art, and then the more fluid painting or if it's acrylic or even watercolor, that's even more fluid. You don't have a lot of control, and it's more affective. You're not thinking as much as you are feeling when you're creating art. So depending on where you are emotionally in that moment will determine what kind of material you want to use. So.
Does anybody have any questions?
Could you just give an example or two of how art, using the psychology of it? I mean, why art? What is expected of a person through the creative process?
Well, art is healing. You know, a lot of the art process, it's repetitive. It's almost like swinging. It's almost like listening to music. It's like your heartbeat. You know, when you're creating art, you get into a rhythm, and it really kind of like balances you out. It can help you find your center. It's just a powerful tool, and it's non-threatening to most people. You know, you can really connect. You can open up. You can be expressive, and a lot of times you don't even know that you're doing it. It's just something that we gravitate toward. And that's why it works so great with kids who are trying to work on things, because it's almost like a distraction from the underlying issue, that they can work on things through the artwork rather than just sitting and talking to somebody. Yeah.
So there doesn't necessarily have to be an outcome to the art, it's just having those, you know, like the tools and the materials in
Yeah.
front of you just to.
Yeah. And it really is about the process, not the product. Art therapy is not about creating this beautiful thing that you want to hang on your wall. I mean, it could be something you tear up and throw away, or you don't even. I've had so many kids leave the office without taking their artwork with them. They take what's within them, you know, through the process they're gaining a lot of skills or insight. If they end up with something great that's worth taking home or hanging on their wall, then that's just a little bit of extra.
Did you have a question?
Do you do one-on-one therapy sessions with children? And if so, does insurance usually cover it or sometimes cover it?
Great question. Another reason why I started my nonprofit is because there has been a little hiccup in the state of Vermont. Yes, I do one-on-one. I used to bill insurance. The majority of my caseload was Medicaid eligible children in this area. But the beginning of 2023 actually, there was an audit done, and I'm part of a supervision group with play therapists, other art therapists, and my billing supervisor actually was kind of dinged by Medicaid, and they required a big chunk, like $30,000 to be returned, because we specifically wrote art therapy, play therapy, sand tray therapy in our notes. And so we were confused. We're like, wait, we've been doing this for a long time, and they've really put a crackdown on, you cannot do this. You cannot bill and specify that. So it has changed what I can offer, how I can work with people. I do not bill insurance anymore because I can't. There's not a license in the state of Vermont for art therapists. And so the process that we were going through, we were billing through a supervisor that was a clinical mental health counselor. We cannot do that anymore. And I've sat on committees. We've put you know, little bugs in ears. We've tried through the legislature, and it's been shot down. It's just, we need to be under an umbrella, but it impacts the community directly.
Where were you saying most of your funding comes from, like contracting with schools or private donors or?
Grants through schools. The last 3 years I've been paid through ESSER funds, which was a result of COVID-19 monies given to the schools. And I've been so grateful that I've been able to do this, because so many people have been carrying anxiety and all of these, you know, symptoms because of COVID-19. But this school year, when it comes to an end, the funds are up, and I'll just solely be focusing on my nonprofit and trying to fundraise and apply for more grants and continue the work that I do that way. Yep. It's a scary shift for me, but I'm up for the challenge.
Any other, Molly?
Felicia, I heard your portfolio, not to use a metaphor, but your portfolio is huge, from your private one-on-one to your classes to your new nonprofit to and so the pronoun I that I heard you using, what kind of support do you have to support the I?
I have a lot of people that are interested, that are reaching out. I think more so recently, since I've had to really try to figure out a path of shifting from billing insurance, and also the school year coming to an end and knowing that that's not an opportunity anymore. I've been trying to ask for help, and I've been trying to reach out to people and organizations in the community to try to get that support. Because you're right, I mean, I can't take on everything alone.
As ambitious and determined as you are, I bet you could,
Yeah.
but it would probably not last long enough. And you have a board of directors
Yeah.
now with
Yeah.
your new nonprofit.
Yeah.
So there should be some help and a coalition of art therapists throughout the state.
There's a lot of shifting within the art therapists within the state. So when my little supervision group was kind of dinged with that Medicaid audit, a lot of them were as well, and we were all like, "Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do?" Because we know what we're doing is effective and healing and helpful, and it's like a technicality that is in our way. So a lot of the art therapists are trying to work private pay, and people can't afford to pay for therapy out of pocket. Like, why do you have insurance? You know, like, that's what it's supposed to be for.
Yeah, two questions actually. One is, have you been working with the legislator, or you and any other folks in in the art therapy community been working with the legislator to try to make
Yes,
it? Yeah.
multiple times.
Multiple times.
My oldest daughter's 11, and I think I started the first time around when she was like 2 or 3. I was the secretary at the time of the Vermont chapter for the Art Therapy Association, and we put together, I think it's a sunrise or a sunshine application. I can't remember what it's called, but it's very in-depth and detailed, and we presented it, and they declined, and then a couple years later we tried again, and they basically just want to approve like recognizing who we are, but not really letting us get the licensure to be able to bill insurance. So
Are there many other art therapists in Vermont?
there's probably 20 to 30 active on an email thread that I have, but we're scattered. When we do our annual meetings, we have to meet in like Montpelier, Barrie, because we're all over the state. I've supervised a couple art therapists. One is actually from Plattsburgh, New York, and she used to rent office space from me. And then there's another one local in St. Albans, and we used to work together at NCSS. But
Sounds like a support group for art therapists
yes,
would be worth looking into.
yes.
When I was a mental health counselor, we had groups that weren't really, we just got together and had support groups and supported each other and talked about cases, and
Yep.
that's something you could do without getting any approval from the legislature.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you for that.
Good work.
Siobhan?
I just wanted to clarify too, you have a bachelor's degree and this is counseling and this is what you do, just so those don't just assume you're just painting and.
Yeah, I have
what I mean?
master's degree in art therapy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So to actually call yourself an art therapist and to do art therapy, you have to have a master's degree. You have to go through all of the training. There are therapists who say they do art therapy, but they're not if they haven't received the master's degree. They should say art in therapy rather than art therapy because it is different. They're using art as a tool to communicate with a patient or a client, whereas art therapists have all of the knowledge of how art is the therapy, and they know the structure of it, they know the process of it, they know how to navigate through the materials differently than if somebody's saying, let's color today while we talk, you know, it's a little different.
So will your space be open to the public as a drop-in opportunity, or is it like scheduled appointments only?
Currently, it will be scheduled because I'm at this 2 different schools 3 days a week, so I'm not always there. I do have on my Facebook page events and opportunities where it is open to the public right now, and there's like adult open art studios, there's times for kids to come in and have free time, and those are all grant funded right now through the Maquam Bay Abenaki Nation of Missisquoi right now. Yes.
Yeah, without going into names and too much details, can you maybe go over like a big success story in terms of your career in art therapy?
Sure. Oh, let's see. Which one is the most successful?
Hopefully this new endeavor, right?
Well, are you thinking of a case study, like a specific?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have worked with a particular child for 4 years, and major social anxiety, difficulty with transitions, difficulty with getting to school on time, difficulty just being at school, wanting to leave early, struggles galore. Parents really were trying to support and wrap. We worked on ways to self-regulate, ways to identify anxiety, what that looks like, what that feels like, what you have control over, what you don't have control over, different ways that art can be beneficial, different ways to navigate in different environments that you don't have control over. And through time and through lots of sessions and lots of ways of being creative and practicing, they are attending school pretty regularly now. So I would say that that's a big accomplishment. Yep.
So how do you feel our community and this group can support you in your new?
That's a great question. When you invited, I didn't know what to expect. And then I saw the Facebook thing with my picture on it, and I'm like, this is bigger than I thought. I'm not sure. Going into this, I was like, I'm really not a presenter. I'm a healer. I'm a helper. I'm a creator. Like, those are the things that I do. I just want to help people. I just want to be creative. I want this space to be successful and open and available for people. I want to share the joy of art with the community, you know? I just want it to be this safe place where art can be, expressive art can be accessible to everyone. And I think my big thing about accessibility has to do with the limitations that insurance companies puts on healing for people. You know, like right now to go find a therapist, you're waiting months and months, maybe even a year. You're on a waiting list that long. And with my skills and my background, I want to have a place that's available and accessible without insurance, without the loopholes. I want it to be like this great, safe, non-threatening place for the community.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I just think about having you here and explaining your stories and what you do and what you can offer to our community is kind of our way of kind of getting the word out of what you do, just so everybody better understands what it is that you do and what the amazing work that you're doing and how many people you are helping. So I think it just being here is a start, and then this great community sports support stuff you have happening, just kind of sharing the information. And if, you know, we or people we know need something different or something new to try to deal with some of their anxieties or stressors, we can always just send them your way. I think you left us some cards and
I have
some information.
I have stickers and I have some business cards, and on some of the papers that I have at the front, I have QR codes. So if you're on Facebook and you scan the QR code on the left, it will bring you to my Creative Heart Incorporated page. I have another page that I didn't put a QR code for. It's the Creative Heart Counseling, and that's my LLC that I've had for the past 6 years. But the incorporated one is just the newest. And I think eventually I'm going to shift and dissolve my LLC and just have the nonprofit. But right now I'm juggling both because I have contracts and things to ride out.
Can you handle the need that we have in this area right now? Or will there be a time when you will need to bring in other people to work with you?
I definitely could use support now. I just don't know about funding. I don't know how to keep the doors, like right now I'm figuring out like how to keep the doors open, how to get the supplies in, how to like pay to be there. But there is such a need. I'm constantly getting referrals for individual therapy. I'm getting referrals at the schools, even though I'm exiting in June. So it's like this balance of I don't really want to take on more people that I have to say goodbye to in a couple of months because it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
But there is a need, and it is growing, and it is there. And I could use help. So I've had a couple people reach out to me about volunteering. So I may start there and just see how that goes. But once I get a grasp on grant writing more and things like that, definitely I think I can envision more people working within the building. Yeah, for sure.
So
Joel has something.
if I could, first of all, great presentation, thank you very much. So one of our focus areas is the social, emotional health and focus on the family is kind of what we want to do for 2024. And I look down toward the bottom, you have monthly open art studios, and you break it down to elders, children, adults, and moms. Now, some of that you're getting funded through grants right now. Do you see a possibility of people participating as a family, or do you try to keep it to the groups you listed here?
A family could be a completely different opportunity, you know? I think sometimes kids like to have the break from the family, you know, dynamic, and then adults also need to detach from the kids at times. But I think a family option would be a great opportunity. Yeah.
What I see is us contacting you and discussing some ways we might be able to sponsor an event or two this year, as focus on the family, and whether it's family or whether it still stays as these groups. But I think we could have some further discussion and help out and maybe sponsor a couple events.
I mean, a lot of local coalitions in our community could probably utilize, like sponsor a event,
That would be wonderful.
art event, to help you kind of defer the cost to your.
Great pumping labyrinth every year.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
Okay.
a fun little
We can
project.
make that and have it at our next business meeting, further discussion on it.
Yeah,
and present
absolutely.
it.
I think it's a great idea. Does anybody have anything else? Any questions, comments?
You said you have a building. Is that a place that we could go and see somebody that would answer our questions?
Yeah.
Yes, but we're not open full-time yet because I'm contracted at the Swanton Elementary School and MVU 3 days a week. So I'm usually at the building on Mondays and Fridays, and I've advertised specific events and times that I'm there. Once June comes and passes, I won't be at the schools anymore, and I'll be at the building pretty much full-time. So starting this summer, it will be open a lot more.
So where's this building?
It used to be Flowers by Debbie. The address is 63 Grand Avenue.
Your new sign is beautiful.
Thank you.
Molly?
Just to follow up, Felicia, is there contact information on your card?
Yes. Yep.
So if Ms. Hall has a
this is a
question,
sticker.
then
Yeah, we can
she
pass
could
these
follow
around
up
too.
with that contact information.
Yes.
You want one? All right. Yeah, you can pass those out. Great. This is exciting.
And the QR codes are on the back of the card?
Yeah.
As well.
One of them is to donate. If you're looking to
okay.
donate money, so it will bring you to a donation.
There you go.
That's a great
Okay.
idea. That's awesome. Well, I would just like to thank you for coming. I think this was really resourceful for us all, just to get a better idea of what you do. And I hope being here kind of helps get the word out and help support your program, because it sounds lovely.
Thank you.
Very
Even if you aren't interested in attending any of the events, if you follow the Facebook page and you see an event pop up, if you just share it, that's helping me spread the word. So just if you're sharing those things, it might reach somebody that really needs that opportunity. So
I just want to thank you for what you're doing. It sounds like a lot of what you're doing is intervention, but also some of what you're doing is prevention, and we can never do too much prevention.
absolutely. Absolutely.
That's great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks for bearing with me. I'm not a good
You did very well. You did very well.
The second time she said she's not a presenter.
I know.
But
She did.
she
Pretty
is a
comfortable up there.
presenter. Just add that to this
Must be the art therapy. All right. So we're doing great on time. And so it's 6:10, which is really exciting because we don't really get to spend a ton of time on our community chair and stakeholders. So this evening, I think we're going to have a lot of time to kind of listen and have the opportunity to really listen.
We're not gonna get the 2-minute buzzer?
You
I
will.
look so forward to that.
I gotta get an hourglass that goes 2 minutes, and I can sit up here and flip it.
Mr. Sheets will get a 2-minute buzzer. And I forgot to bring my buzzer today, but anyway. So I think it's great that we have this time. But I just wanted to kind of touch base on our SCP focuses for 2024, and they're on the agenda, just the social emotional health piece of it and the economic health. So those are the two areas that we're gonna try to focus a lot more on this year, and bring in presenters and have events in the community that support our focus. We kind of came in this in November. We were gonna have 4, and then we came up with 2, but I think they're very broad. So they kind of fit all of them in 2. So it was great. So like I said, we are gonna move on to committee chair and stakeholders. You do have 2 minutes, but if you go a little bit over, that's fine because we have a little bit of room. So first off is MVSD. I do not think we've filled that vacant spot yet. I don't really have a lot of information other than the warning that they put out to the community about their $50 million budget. But I think that if you go, encourage people to go to meetings because your voice is not heard unless you're in the room. Just ask those questions and get the answers you deserve, but you can't get the answers if you don't go to the meeting and ask the questions. So it's important to get out and ask those questions. And if anybody in this room knows anybody on the MVSD school board that would like to come to a meeting, we would encourage them to reach out to us so we can invite them to come and they can be part of the conversation. And Art Council, I think, is that you, Sam? Oh, no, you're back there. Oh, okay.
Hi, I'm Allie.
Hi, Allie.
I'm the secretary of the Swanton Enhancement
Oh, well, welcome, Allie.
Thank you. So some things that we're doing right now is it's the new year, and so we just recently got a new grant for the year to do free art programming. So we're going to, similar to the past few years, going to be able to start offering things like take and make crafts, different arts projects, art classes to the public art displays, and hopefully we're gonna be able to do some new things. Right now we're collecting a lot of proposals, and at the next meeting we'll be hopefully voting and approving some of those, and you'll see them pop up on different calendars in Swanton.
So the Make and Take art, that you did that last year too, right? That was a grant, that was great. That was fun.
So it's the same grant that we've managed to get now, I think, for 3 years.
Yep.
This is the 4th year that we've gotten it.
Those are great.
Yeah, so it's been pretty awesome. We recently made our reports for the 2023 village and town reports. And this year we wanted to switch, and instead of having like very dense, detailed information that maybe nobody wants to read, we did more of a short blurb, and then we have a coloring page.
Nice.
That when you get your reports, you'll be able to color. Something that's happening this month is the Edwin Church Award, which is, has in the past been geared more towards adults, so writing competition, is now been expanded to teenagers and elementary school children. So they also have their own writing competition, and then for the younger children, they're just telling their story, so they don't have to be able to write. And the world of SPAN, the Swanton Public Art Network. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a new Eclipse art board that's up by the bridge, and then hopefully in the next month or so on the other side, there'll be a second eclipse. So hopefully anybody passing through will see that lovely eclipse artwork and be reminded that Swanton will be a lovely place to come and see the eclipse and visit our community.
They are lovely.
John's Bridge. No, it's.
Our next meeting is on the 7th. I believe in this room at 6.
Yes.
Now, are those meetings open to the public? Or?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions for the Arts Council before we move on to the Swanton Public Library? No? Okay, Abby.
So we are gearing up for lots of things at the library. February is a really big planning month for us. We spend a lot of February getting things ready for summer and spring camps and things like that. So we're preparing to launch all of our summer camp information. In the middle of February, we'll be offering 4 camps this year. Full day here at the library, and also partnering with Swanton Rec so we get some good outside time in too. We're also going to be doing camp over February break and over April break. We're going to be having, through the Arts Council, some art classes here as well. We're going to be having an adult board game club starting up soon. Had lots and lots of adults see our youth board game club that we currently offer after school, and they'd like their own, so we're working on that. We're working on a youth book club. We have several adult book clubs. We thought it'd be fun to open up to elementary school kids as well. I think those are the big things. We're getting ready for Harry Potter Night, which is our biggest event of the year. So yeah, that's pretty much us, I think. Yes.
Abby, what is going on in this building is amazing.
Thank you.
We just started doing the bone builders on,
Yes.
on Mondays and Fridays.
That's a
But
great,
What
I didn't
you
even
have
think of all
done with
that.
the space, you know, the children's space, the quiet space upstairs on the top
Yes.
floor, you have just arranged things that are so inviting and
Thank you.
comforting, and it's really exciting to come into this
Thank you.
building.
That's the classes for seniors. That's another thing I should mention. We have bone builders twice a week. We have Monday at 11 and Friday at 11. On Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, every other Tuesday, we have some sort of senior gathering here. It varies. Sometimes next week Nicole's coming to cook with the seniors. Sometimes it's a craft. So we've been watching a series about living to 100, and so we've been watching like a couple episodes of that here and there. Yeah, it is good. So the Tuesday thing rotates, and it's always different, so you have to look out for our newsletter to figure out what's going on. And then on Wednesdays, we partner with SASH, and they come and do chair yoga with Faith, and they come and do Zumba, and they've got all kinds of different things, but that rotates as well. So again, you have to look for the newsletter to stay up to date on which Wednesdays and Tuesdays are happening.
Just on the desk if anybody wants one.
Yes, that's why I keep pointing that way. Yes, lots of collaboration here. We love community partners.
One great thing about our community, we do a lot of that because we have to.
Yes. We're all in this together.
There's no I in this community. Okay. Swanton Rec.
Oh, hey, that's me. So I have an announcement from Swanton Rec that I will pass around. If you are subscribed to our email list, you would have gotten it from us. You can also find it on the Town and Village website if you haven't, so I can hand that direction. We are gearing up already for spring athletics. Little League registration is open, so if you or your neighbors or friends have young people that are interested in joining Little League, sign up now. Registration closes March 1st. We've also worked really hard on building some summer youth athletic clinics for kids that may not want to participate in a team but still want to participate in an athletic contest of some kind. We are going to release all of our summer programming in February alongside the Swanton Public Library and MVSD, which is a very exciting collaboration for all of us because this summer we are all in it together. So it's hopefully going to be a really nice offering to the community that we're all coming out with a plan together. We are also offering February and April vacation camp, which are starting to fill up. So if you have any young people looking for care or a fun thing to do during those times, send them our direction. We are also working on our youth leadership skills and workshops for our young teen leaders. We will have Hunters Education join us in Vermont Fish and Wildlife in April, but they're also going to come and do an ice fishing clinic. So if you're interested in ice fishing, or you have young people that are interested in ice fishing, our instructor will come with all of the goods and give you some information and then take you out on the ice, assuming that we have some by then still.
Yeah.
We've also been working on safe sitter courses, offering not only here in our community, but we've been partnering with Enosburg Rec to provide safe sitter courses for our young people to get those skills so they can not only be safe at home when they're alone, but also be great babysitters. Other things that we've got going, we've got a very vibrant Youth Dungeons and Dragons Club that meets every Friday after school. We've also offering a chess club now. Those are free programs to our young people. You can sign up for them on our website. We are doing an Around the World Culture Club for young people that are interested in getting out and exploring the world, but staying right here in Franklin County. We are also working with Franklin County Caring Communities on a youth-led eclipse glow-in-the-dark party. The young people are planning it and organizing it, and they're hoping to promote and spread the good word to all of the young people in the county. So be on the lookout for that. We've got a lot of great community events set up for the year. Winter escapades, hopefully winter joins us, but planning that for February vacation.
It might be a mud
It could be mud escapades. But either way, we'll have some outdoor fun in the evening and welcome the community for s'mores and hot chocolate. We will be doing hopefully some garden workshops in the early spring, as well as preparing our community gardens. So if anybody would like to be involved with that, we'd always love to have you. And you'll see that there's other things like the community yard sale. We're looking for help for the outdoor markets on the green, hopefully to bring that back again this year. Would love to have a pollinator garden party. We've talked about planning that with Darcy Benoit. And Cornfest, which is going to be hopefully the best annual event ever here in Swanton. We are offering more adult programs this year, hopefully some adult co-ed athletic leagues. So we will be offering adult softball, adult soccer, adult flag football in their respective seasons. Other ways for adults to get out, stay active, and network with others. And then we still have a great supply of rental equipment that we offer to the community: snowshoes, kayaks, stand-up paddle boards, life jackets, disc golf, fishing poles, and yard games. So make sure you keep those in mind if you ever need them. We also have a focus survey out right now, and you can find that on our website. We would love to hear from all of the community about what they're looking for their recreational needs. And it's got a lot of great information there about how, we balance our time and where you want us to focus our energy on. And that's about it.
What do you do in your spare time?
I get to hang out with all you fun people.
That all sounds great. Were you able to work with the Swanton school system to continue what used to be the Notch summer program?
It's going to look a little bit different. So for those of you that don't already know, Notch Day Camp will not be returning to Swanton or Richford this year. That was a decision that Notch made, and so we have been collaborating with the Swanton Public Library and MVSD After Schools on making sure that we are providing as many offerings to the community as possible. I have been working on grant funding to help subsidize that cost, as well as different avenues of financial aid and sponsorships for children to attend that camp, to make sure that it is affordable and attainable for any family that needs or wants to participate in the summer experience. So right now it's looking that we will have 2 free weeks of care, one in June and one in August, with partnership with the library and partnership with MVSD After Schools for the one in August. but we will offer 5 weeks of full-day programming during the month of July for our young people.
Will any of those be a feeding program?
We are working with Missisquoi Valley Union right now to become a summer food site. So that way we will be a meal site for any child 0 to 18 in the community.
We're working on that too, so there would be multiple sites in the community for kids to be able to access food.
Good. They're taking care. They're taking care of our kids.
Can I add 2 things that I forgot to say during my?
It's gonna take away from Mr. Sheets' time, but go ahead.
Abby, I yield my time to you.
Thank you.
You can have my 2 minutes.
I just wanted to say, Nicole sparked my memory that we got granted a Eclipse kit from Echo, and so we are also going to be offering some Eclipse programming. We have, I think, 600 Eclipse glasses to hand out to the community. We're going to offer them to participants in our programming first, and then to the rest of the community. So we should have tons to hand out. And then the other thing that I forgot to say was we also have a bunch of teen programming. We have a teen night, and we're also working on bringing a weekly teen hangout thing. It's going to be pretty unstructured because we find that teens don't come if we tell them we're doing something. So it's just a time that teen can be supervised here and do what they please.
Fun. So we do have a skating rink at the rec department.
Yes, we also have a skating
It's closed right now because we have this crazy weather. Mother Nature, I don't know what's going on with her. But anyway, so it's closed right now, but always follow us on Facebook, and they'll let you know when it's open. And I just wanted to say, this kind of made me giggle, but small space, big recreation.
A lot goes on in that little building.
Can I ask a quick question of Nicole?
Oh, Molly. Yeah,
Sure.
of course.
You know where I live, can't wait? No, I'm just kidding.
No, absolutely. So Notch not providing their summer, what's the financing gap? I presume Notch had a chunk of money that they put into that camp.
So Notch did all of that on their own. They used us as a host site. They were primarily grant funded from my understanding. Their cost of operations alone, I think, was about $7,500 a week for each week that they offered, and they offered 4 weeks of care, half day, to upwards of 114 youth per day. So we cannot meet that capacity as we don't have the space or the staff at this time. We are trying to provide as much as we possibly can, and always looking to expand. But I am out there grinding the pavement, looking for grant funding to help, like I said, cut the costs back so that every kid can have that opportunity.
Other than grant funding, which is critically important, in my head, I think this just sounds like such a great opportunity for small community, or I don't know, small, but community funding. We get all these letters from various nonprofit organizations that are working with kids. And wouldn't it be great to get something that says, help a kid from Swanton
We have our sponsorship guide that we are now starting to put out, and that is an option in our sponsorship guide.
For individual donors?
For an individual donor to sponsor a camper.
We need to get one of these codes.
I know, I'll work on that tomorrow.
Okay, so that's great to know.
Yeah.
So, and it's in your sponsorship guide.
Which is on our website. You can see that, or I can print off a copy and drop it off in your mailbox if you'd like. Feel free to always stop by and we can go over those options together.
I think Bill has these utility bills that go out to a whole bunch of Swanton people.
We do?
And I could just see a little something in there that, you know, it's not they have to act first.
Well, if he'll entertain that conversation, I'll call him tomorrow and we can
Okay.
work on details.
Come over to the open house deal, 10 a.m.'s the first one.
Okay.
All right.
So we're gonna move on to the Historical Society. Do you have any updates for us?
Yeah, sure. We recently completed restoration of the toll house. which is great. We also have some programming that has been ongoing monthly with Dr. Fred Wiseman, and he recently did one on lighting, and he's going to be doing some, hopefully doing some more in the future, and there'll be more programming, of course, in the future. We're also working on trying to purchase, there's been an article in the Messenger about it a few weeks ago, purchasing the Roy's Insurance building, and we're looking for various sources of funding for that, including like private donors and whatnot. So that's going on with the Historical Society. I can also give one for the Chamber too.
Sure. There's no one here from the chamber, right?
No.
Okay, that's Nick. That's Nick. All right.
Okay. So with the Chamber, we recently debuted a new website, and it would be great if everybody can visit it, take a look at it, give us feedback. And when it comes to Swanton Citizen, and we're also working on doing a dinner for Swanton Citizen of the Year. That's going to be upcoming on February 23rd. It's going to be starting at 5 o'clock, and we're trying to get the winner a surprise, so we'll announce it. But it's it's one of the local stores in the area, if you want to take a guess. And we're going to hopefully get some advertising about it, and I'm going to probably speak to Brian about hopefully getting that dinner on the billboard.
Is it going to be at the VFW?
It's going to be at the VFW.
Okay.
Oh, they have a billboard too.
Oh, yeah, they do.
A very nice one.
I have to ask
Love it.
Joel Clark must be.
I know, I saw him out there all the time, working on it. He's jack of all trades this one. Thank you, Nick. So, Town of Swanton, Brian, do you have anything to update us on, or you want to give all your time?
Stop.
I'll just say that the town reports are at the printers. We looked at a proof of it today, so I'm not quite sure exactly when they'll be delivered, but we're going to distribute them out into the community as we have had in the past, and they'll be always available at the town office. We're gearing up, of course, for town meeting, and I'll just mention that the joint town and village informational meeting will be held on Monday, February 26th at 7 p.m. at the village complex. If anybody's got any questions about anything to do with the town budget, please feel free to give my office a call or send me an email, and I'll get you the information that you're looking for. On the town plan has been done, it's been accepted, it's a done deal. What we're doing now is going through a rewrite of the zoning bylaws to make sure that they're in sync with that town plan. And they're going along pretty well. I'm not quite sure the exact time that the process. Of course, there's going to be public hearings on any changes and whatnot. So that's what there is. So I'll turn it over to.
Do you have any updates before we move forward?
Oh, the LVRT.
Still looking at getting design complete later this month for design complete. It's going through the NEPA, National Environmental Protection Act process, which is probably going to take it more toward April. Hope to have it out on the streets for bids for construction. Hopefully have those in around the end of July. Get something started late summer, which shouldn't take very long to build the trailhead. So it should be in place this fall. This is federal money with federal restrictions, but that's the timeline we're looking at right now. We don't see any big showstoppers. We did put in a request for some additional grant money, and things are looking good on that, and we expect to hear very soon that we're going to receive that. And we already have the matching funds from the town for that. So we are proceeding ahead.
Village?
Well, just a question. Any word on the governor coming back to do the tour?
Oh, yeah.
There hasn't been any talk of him doing that. I'm assuming this spring that'll probably come back. They're still working on a few areas of the trail. I know they talk about it being open, but there's a few things they're fixing. But I hope certainly that he does, because that would be great, having him start right here like he was planning.
Maybe end of the session. Maybe it might be June. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Anybody have anything? Floor is yours.
Mr. President?
No, you can use up to 2 minutes pretty easy.
Okay, may I approach, Madam Chair, go to the speaking chair?
Oh, you may.
I don't want to have my back to everybody.
Hey.
We could just do a quick tour through town. So wastewater treatment plant's the first thing that's happening. We should go out to bid in the next few months. It'll take a little over a year. If anyone wants a tour, I can talk wastewater all day, but I know she's going to ring the buzzer pretty soon. So one critical thing is our centrifuge has failed. That essentially, when we take wastewater, you basically add up to 900,000 gallons a day, clean, goes back into the Missisquoi River. Solids go through this centrifuge, go in this building, and then we dump it twice a year when it's all clean. It's called LandApp. That's broken. That's part of this project, but it's meaning that our sludge is breaking up, which is going to be expensive. Let's come up the bridge. We'll go to the Riv. Mr. President, it's your favorite topic. We are in the final stages of getting a certificate of completion once we do a few more things. We will do a request for proposal to multiple people asking for suggestions for what should be done with the property to include senior housing. It's small, it's only 0.6 of an acre, but we certainly want some type of development there. And the best idea is going to be able to walk away with a property at whatever that price is. But we hope to have some development, and based on what they're doing in Highgate, senior housing might actually be a fit. We're going out to bid on the bridge next week, so the expansion joints on the bridge have to be repaired. Here's the most important part that you're going to want to know about. We're going to shut the bridge down for up to a week-ish completely and reroute traffic. The town is well aware, the state of Vermont is aware. We don't know when that's going to happen, but that is less painful than taking 6 weeks to do it the other way. Going to do what?
I'm gonna put a paying gate at my house.
Could put a toll there and pay for the extra cost.
Yeah.
Baby road.
Do you know what day, what week it's gonna be yet or not?
We are going to be so flexible that we're going to give them a requirement. They have to notify us 45 days in advance.
Okay, that's great.
So that way,
The state.
whoever bids, we hope many people bid because it's not cheap. It's literally just from Faith to myself away, 2 lanes, expansion joint, sounds cheap. It'll be $400,000-ish just to fix those. The bridge is slated to be replaced in 2029, which we all know means 2031-ish. Coming up, we have the $375,000 for improvements here. That is actually really happening. We'll have a kickoff soon. You'll get plenty of notice. 4 main things. Marble Mill. There'll be a crossing VFW over to Marble Mill. Crosswalk with flashing lights.
Woo!
The crosswalk that is at the very end above the VFW will be moved back. Traffic in front of Merchants Row will be one way. Parking there will be moved a little bit. There will be a 3-way stop sign at First and Grand Avenue. And there's one more thing. But anyway, sidewalk, yes.
When the
Yes.
traffic
Right.
flow changes, you're gonna
Yes.
put sidewalks in front of Merchants Row.
Yeah, it essentially gets bumped out, at least on the far side of Merchants Row, by 12 feet. So remember, this has all been designed. So now this is what we're going to do. So there was a year of public meetings and public forums before I arrived. So that project's happening. We might have a little bond coming up, a vote. So we have open houses again tomorrow at 10, 2, and 6. It's open house number 23, 24, and 25. We're doing 37 of them.
Okay. Cool.
And I think that's enough.
I mean,
I was 1 minute 30 seconds, right?
Nicole took the longest so far.
I know.
Yeah. I can pick on her now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I be free now?
Does anybody have any questions, comments?
Nick.
Sure. What's the general feedback you're getting at the open houses? Is there any consensus?
I will say that it's like any other time, any other bond. The non-supporters are very vocal. The supporters are very quiet. And those are the ones that are coming up and saying that we support it. I think generally we recognize that it's a very large ask. And at the end of the day, it's going to be up to the citizens. I appreciate the fact that the trustees have the courage to take it to the voters, and we'll respect the wishes of the voters. So I don't know what the outcome's going to be. We'll certainly respect that, and then we'll go back to the drawing board for Plan B if we need to.
So I just want to say I'm so excited about the flashing beacons down at Marble Mill because that was part of the Marble Mill master plan. So I was really excited to hear that. And then any infrastructure that creates more movability in our community is an asset. So thank you for that.
I should point out, there's gonna be the expansion of parking is the next $600,000 grant we're working on right now. That'll be, we bought the old Tessier property, 74 Merchants Row on the far side. We will expand that out and put up to 20, 25, 30 spaces there. And we're gonna redo the entire backside of the park, paving, stormwater, everything with additional parking there. That's 3 to 5 years away, by the way. When you start looking for the grant to execution, that's the time frame.
So Heidi's still your grant writer at the village?
Very much so.
Okay, super, super.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
great.
Did someone have their hand up?
So
Oh, Sandy.
Molly started out by thanking you, and so I always follow Molly's lead. Thank God Molly moved to Swanton when they did, or we wouldn't have any SEP. But thank you so much for the extra time and miles that you are putting in. Swanton is on the move.
Always.
So we thank you all for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
I might say something about that. The idea of having so many open houses was to inform the public, the voters, of what the facts are, and if they wanted the facts, they would come to the open house and they had been there. But like Bill says, you get some negativity, but we're getting the word out anyways. And like Bill says, when March 5th comes around, we'll respect whatever the voters said. And it's a great year to ask for funding, I'm seeing that. Because everybody else is asking for more too. So.
It's never going to be any less.
And it's also really important, and I think we forget that our public officials can do nothing but inform. They are not allowed to advocate. They are not allowed to negate. They are allowed to provide information and let the voters decide. And the extent to which you're blanketing the community, I think what you also have to be, cognizant of is that not everybody's gonna show up there, but you're networking enough to get the information out, so.
You can't say you didn't do it because you're doing it.
Right.
Abby had
I
her
just
hand
wanted
up.
to ask if you let kids come to the wastewater plant to tour,
Oh, of course.
how many at a time can you
100.
handle?
Well, that'd be crazy, but, I mean, it's,
25 summer camp?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the summer, I'm gonna warn you, it doesn't smell great. This time of year, it's okay,
Kids
but.
don't really smell that great either.
No, I mean, this is-
The hydroelectric could be very interesting.
The hydroelectric, we could do all kinds of stuff like that.
treatment facilities.
Fire department, police department.
Our June camp is all
Yeah.
about community service
Yeah.
and learning about our community, so
Yeah.
I'd love to
Yep.
get the kids out there and see what we actually have here.
Well, it's a good opportunity to get your kids out in the community to show them what we have available for them. Maybe someday they want to be a hydro or
What kind of
wastewater
ages
person.
are we talking?
Most of them are like 2nd through 4th grade.
It's perfect, so
Got
we
a
take
few
them,
first graders and a few 6th
we
graders.
walk
but-
them safely around the lagoons, snakes, frogs,
Oh, they love
ducks,
that.
geese, really cool stuff, in addition to the science behind it.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'll reach out.
yeah, please do.
You probably just opened up a can of worms.
Yeah, we do, we'll do it all kinds of stores, we love it.
So
Does the water treatment plant or the wastewater treatment plant have any dedicated lab staff, or is it always like the operators are doing lab?
Yeah, it's the operators, and it's funny you say that because you literally, it's like you're in chemistry class. You see the periodic table at both plants, and they are mixing and doing their stuff, and it's daily testing of both facilities. And then we don't analyze, we ship it out to be analyzed. Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to beautification.
Good. See ya.
Thanks.
Good job, Bill.
Hank.
From wastewater to beautification.
That's right.
We all
We're
live
gonna-
down the
that-
street.
Well, we need a little stinky to make the flowers bloom. Right?
That's true.
That's true. Yeah.
Thank you, Bill, for warming the seat.
Yes.
Yeah, you got the hot seat.
Well, thank you for a few minutes here to explain a little bit of what we've been doing. I have 12 copies of a one-page brief to share with you. We had a wonderful first year of our 7-year plan to beautify Swanton, more specifically the village. We planted 9 trees, which is part of our 7-year plan, and some hydrangeas and new flower beds, new flower pots. And we're really excited about the plan continuing in 2024. We had our first meeting last night, and Susie Kelleher, right over here, raise your hand, Susie, was present for the first time, and we welcomed her, and she's the 23rd person of our committee, which it speaks well to the fact that citizens are very involved and looking forward to more beauty. Imagine street-lined trees all over, especially the ones entering the village.
Or tree-lined streets.
Tree-lined streets, thank you. And and more flower beds. This year we're going to focus on the town office building and the village complex with flowers, more hanging baskets on Grand Avenue, and ideas that are leading to not only flowers and trees, but hopefully working with Joel and others, welcoming signs at each entrance to the village. Colorful, beautiful, welcome to Swanton. And there's an idea floating about creating a beautiful mural at the laundry building, between the laundry building and the VFW, as you come up the hill. Something sharp there. We are working with this SPAN organization associated with the Swanton Arts Council. That's about it. Just thank you so much for helping us to beautify the village that we live in. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but I think everybody agrees that flowers and trees are important in our society. So.
Well, thank you, Hank, and your committee, your
Yeah.
strong committee.
Yeah, it's a
23
great
members is
committee.
great.
Everybody, yeah. Susie had a question that led to a commitment to gather information, so she went at it, got the information, and I had an email with complete information by this afternoon. So
You got doers.
you got doers. That's what it
That's
takes.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what makes it.
We
And
could
Sandy's
just-
on the committee, and Ron's on the committee.
We could just thank Ace Hardware for their welcome to Swanton sign that you'll see when you come up over the bridge.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They
Good.
could have put a flower or 2 on it, but it's pretty
We'll talk to them
visible.
about
We can
it.
add to it, right?
Right.
All right.
Brian and Bill know, we all know, Swanton is one. I don't think you need to separate village and town.
Yeah, well, we start in the village and we're gonna blossom out. It's gonna be like a flower
Well,
growing.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
You're getting in trouble, Hank.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hank.
So healthy communities and substance misuse. So Crystal's not here this evening because she's not well. So we wish her well. So basically, the healthy communities, of course, Felicia was here this evening, and our biggest goal is to make sure that all our speakers and our guests and any events in our community kind of touch base on healthy communities, substance misuse, and we'll continue to work towards that. We work with our local recs, libraries, schools, to engage children, teen nights. So there's a lot of work already happening in our community, and we appreciate that. So Siobhan, do you want to speak? On
Behind the
behalf of
camera.
community? Communication?
So we just finally had a meeting of communication committee members again in
Nice.
January. We had a couple more additions and then a few more people that are saying they have interest in joining us. We have another meeting coming in February. Nicole made some awesome notes from our meeting for us that she shared with us, and we have some action plans in place. Let me grab my notes. Hold on. We're gonna work towards that flyer, the 2-week notice flyer. We're gonna work towards. Do you want to go ahead and read off what you have? 'Cause
I
don't have
can.
printed.
Some just informational videos. We all were really inspired by Swanton Village and the great informational videos that they put out. So we thought that it would be a great idea to continue that good work by doing videos about community organizations, as well as just educating the community on what, you know, our local government and officials, you know, have as roles in our community. Again, giving them that correct information. We've also talked about different public service campaigns to make sure that we're really engaging with community members, and a meeting welcoming committee, something that I've started doing in my lots of free time that I have. I was actually at Missisquoi yesterday doing it. And just welcoming people to the community. It was a basketball game, and I stood by the door for way longer than I probably should have, just welcoming people that work from our community here to our community. And we had discussed doing that at meetings, so for those people that may not feel comfortable or be intimidated by a government meeting, just kind of setting the tone and welcoming them and letting them know that we're grateful for their participation in our community.
Nice. I'm glad you guys have some committee members to support you. I think our communications committee is a great way to get the word out, because as we know, we are a group of influencers and advocators. So any information we get out to share is important. So thank you, communication.
The next meeting is February 15th at 5:30 p.m. at the library. I just want to know when's that. Let me know when that board games for adults is starting, because I'm in. My kids don't want to play with me anymore. So. They're teenagers.
Friday nights.
So Darcy is not here to report on community and economic development, but she did send me an update. So they've been very strong since our last meeting. I think she got the support she needed from our last SEP meeting, so that's wonderful. She did say that Molly and her did meet, and they came up with some good ideas, and they had 2 meetings. Well, they had a meeting in January, so December and January. So they are all meeting with our downtown businesses, which is really great. They had a successful small business Saturday, which they did do some advertising, paid advertising for. So it's really nice to hear that our downtown businesses are really collaborating and meeting and working together, so that's wonderful. They're talking about doing a drone video of Swanton. They're talking about sidewalk events, like sidewalk sales, other events in the park or square. She did say that she's excited about Missing Pieces Bakery coming into the downtown space. I think the winner's space.
Theater. The theater.
The theater. Sorry, theater. They're just waiting on electrical and plumbing. Their next downtown meeting will be Tuesday, February 13th at 5 o'clock, tentatively at Vision Nutrition on Merchants Row. So that's what they're doing.
What time is that again?
5 p.m. So exciting stuff happening. And Faith, did you have anything you want to report? Because I know Debbie sent me a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, she didn't give me anything, but I'd like to share what I've been doing, if that's okay.
Of course.
We just put in an in-office self-measurement blood pressure station at the office. So whenever we have office hours, anyone's free to drop in and check their blood pressure as part of the hypertension grant.
We've also been involved with the open door dinners, holding blood pressure clinics there with cardiologist Dr. Tracy Haggerty and her UVM medical students, which has actually been more successful than I thought it would be. We still have our once a month vaccine and health clinic, and at the health clinic they're offering blood pressure, blood sugar checks, and then wound care and foot care. And the foot care we're hoping is going to get popular enough that we're actually asking people to make appointments now because she can only do 8 at night. And then, let's see, we have in February, Kat Hartson is going to be here from 5:30 to 6:30 on Friday nights doing yoga.
Not here, the Episcopal Church.
Oh, you're right. It was going to be here. We don't have a basement here anymore, so they're going to be at the Holy Trinity Church, yeah.
No, it's something different.
And I'm going to be doing chair yoga with the seniors on Valentine's Day from 1 to 2 here. That is still here, right?
Yes.
And then we have art journaling here on the 21st.
All kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, and it's all free.
So Debbie did send me some Valentine treats for sweets, raffle tickets. All proceeds will go to Chief Leonard Lampman Scholarship. And any of the information I'm sharing with you can be found at the Tribal Council building or on their Facebook page. And then they are doing a family fun in February, free movie night at the Weldon Theater on the 24th at 10 a.m. So, and you have to register because limited spots. But all that information can be found on their Facebook page. So lots of great things happening in Swanton, and Abby has something else.
I know, I
No,
do.
just
I want
kidding.
to add to the. I also just want to put a shout out that the Abenaki Tribal Council will be hosting. We're bringing back the Harvest Celebration. It'll be Memorial Day weekend at Swanton Rec. We've already booked drummers and dancers and all kinds of stuff. So the powwow that used to be held in the park is now going to be at Swanton Rec Memorial Day weekend. So that's really exciting for the tribe.
Sweet. So anybody that wasn't part of our stakeholders, did they have anything they wanted to share? Guests that are in the room? I don't want to put anybody on the spot.
I do Wear Blue, Run to Remember, 5K walk or run through the village or on the LVRT, depending. In the winter, we're not doing that. We've just been doing it in the village. It's the second Saturday of every month at 9 o'clock, and we're meeting at the Old Town Garage parking lot right now. Yeah. What we do is we gather in a circle of remembrance. We remember the fallen who had died the weekend that we are present, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we speak the names of the people that we want to remember as we're engaging in our 5K, and it's a self-propelled walk or run as you want to do 5K through the village of Swanton.
Nice. And if they want more information, where can they find that?
They can find more information on the wearblue.org, wearblue run to remember .org website, and we are listed as one of the Saturday run locations, which I'm the coordinator for. And they can also email me at swantoncommunity@wearblueruntoremember.org.
And if you can't remember that, there's a link on the Swanton Rec webpage.
Awesome. Anybody else want to share?
I just want to say, Susie also sign language.
Oh, I'm here with Abby on Wednesdays. I do, I facilitate an American Sign Language course that we use Dr. Bill Vickers' website, LifePrint, and we do his lessons and then we practice signing amongst ourselves. It's just a small group. Would be nice if it could be bigger, but we do that as well.
Molly?
I was just wondering if Darcy and her committee are talking at all about eclipse events. There's just gonna be so, I think.
She is, yes.
Yeah,
She reached out to me to talk to it about it a little bit.
Perfect.
I think there is conversations going around throughout the community. I just don't think they've gathered enough to put it out, but.
Because April 8th is
Yeah.
right around the corner, and St. Albans is gonna be publicized as the best place.
I don't think
in
that
the
we're ever
world.
gonna like be St. Albans.
No,
but,
no, but
we
it's-
might be able to go there.
But we don't need to, is the point. You don't need to.
Looking to the west.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
So we are on a conference call, a Zoom, the 6th.
6.
Oh,
Did
about
you-
an AM.
Right, yes, so,
Okay.
and maybe we ought to get Abby on that too, extend the invite.
I
So
will do
you
it
can
tomorrow.
go, so we're piggybacking,
And maybe
Not-
Darcy too.
not on St. Albans efforts, but you know, we have a population up here and we'd like to
Yeah,
have some
and we've got our
identified
beautiful
events.
lake, and like
Yeah.
you said, Swanton Beach.
You get there, you get the.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's spots.
There's spots.
It is amazing how many people in the world travel to get to
Yeah.
this event.
Yeah, the VPR at noontime there the other day had quite a bit about it. It was very interesting. Eye-opening how many people travel.
Siobhan, did you have something to add?
I was just gonna say about the solar eclipse. If we all start talking now and planning, we could probably get something going on. But it sounds like you guys are. When is that Zoom meeting, and may I join?
It is the 6th, and I don't know if it's open to the public or if it's just for planning officials, but I can check.
Okay. So you had mentioned, I had mentioned to people before because you had mentioned, well, like way last year, about how St. Albans had bought the glasses for the citizens and their planning stuff, and you were thinking about this way back then. So kudos on that. But I mean, we have an opportunity, and if we, St. Albans is going to be full. And there's gonna be no parking probably, so come to Swanton.
No negatives, there's room for all of us.
Of course.
There you go.
All right, so it's 7:02,
Yeah, one,
and
Good job.
we.
can I just say one more thing? Thank you. I just get so inspired when I come to these meetings. And Neil and I were just talking when we came in about the world's in dire straits, and we have to count our blessings. And man, people that live in Swanton, you don't have to go very far to find something to be grateful for. I mean, the people in this town are doing wonderful things.
People in this room.
And yes, thank you all.
So I could just chime in on that and just say, every time I leave these meetings, I just makes my heart swell a lot more, because I think we just do great things, and the fact that we all get together every few months to talk about the great things that happen in Swanton is amazing, and the fact that our municipal government shows up and our community partners, and it's just great to see, and I'm so happy to be part of this committee. And now that we have a secretary, she said she's gonna get our minutes out in like 3 to 5 days, so we can share it widely, so anybody who misses the meeting tonight will have all the information ahead of time, and if they have questions, they can reach out to all of our stakeholders and committee members and ask those questions. So thank you so much for taking this on, we appreciate you. And I think we're gonna close the meeting because that Zumba sounds like they're gonna come through the floor.
I was gonna ring it up and
Sounds
start.
like
I
start
know.
going.
So our next SCP meeting will be March 7th, 2024. We'll put some information out, and thank you everybody for coming. So
Post-town meeting.
who can make, someone gonna make?
I'll
or-
make the motion, we adjourn.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. All approve, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No one's gonna oppose. Motion carried. Oh, you have more discussion, or you
No,
just
I
said?
was-
Oh, okay.
I was confirming
Meeting
that.
closed.
So we'll have to get.